Hey everyone, today I'm going to be swatching the Colourpop Little Ray of Sunshine palette. This is just a really pretty, like, sunflower vibes palette. So if you want to see swatches of this all matte, pretty palette and the eye look I did, just keep watching. Now that you guys have seen the swatches of the palette, let's talk about it. You do get 9 eyeshadows in this palette. Every shade in this palette is matte. Typically, Colourpop has a ton of different eyeshadow formulas, so for them to do all matte palettes, it's interesting. I think it's unique at times. I like it. I mean, I like their 9-pan eyeshadow palettes, so I enjoy even when it's just like a fully matte palette. That being said, the Big Poppy palette I also have to swatch for you guys is also a 9-pan palette all matte, so I'm excited for them. This palette is awesome. It doesn't come with a mirror, which honestly, I'm used to it by now. These cardboard 9-pans never really come with palettes. The artwork is just stunning. I don't know why my camera is pulling so cool tone with this palette, but I promise you it's way more warm tone. It just is what it is. Side note, I'm hoping that I can pick up some of the Colourpop Animal Crossing collection, but the fact that they have 4-pan eyeshadow palettes for $12 US is just crazy. Like, I understand Nintendo really probably made them pay for the licensing, but I mean, come on, like $12 US for a freaking 4-pan palette where the 9-pans are usually around like $10 US or something. This palette does retail for $14 US, which I don't think is bad at all. Hi, Simon. Up. Hi. Say hello. Say hello. Oh. Hello. Hi. Yeah. Hello. You're such a brat. Ignore my cat's foot. This palette swatched really well. Actually, I didn't have any issues with swatches whatsoever. It being a matte palette, you know, there's always that fear of the eyeshadows being very dry, so hard to swatch, but these swatched really well. Didn't have any issues. It's funny though, because some of the shades do not look like how they do in the pan. Like, for instance, the shade Vitamin D, it looks like a I don't know, like a cool tone, like light brown, and I mean, I guess it kind of is, but like, I don't know, to me it doesn't look like how it does in the pan, but it's still really pretty. I really like the shades in this palette. I watched that girl Shay do eye swatches of this palette to see if I wanted it, and that's what sold me. I love the tones in this palette. Funny enough, like the really bright yellow, I wish I loved it, but I just don't. After using it on my lid, it just disappeared like automatically. It was so weird. The other shades are so much better in my opinion. So that being said, it's still pretty yellow. It just faded and like it was not bright at all, which you guys will see in the eye look that I did. It's just up in my grill today. This is honestly so pretty. I do really like it. I liked how the look turned out that I did. I think it was pretty. I basically did like, I did a basic look, just like with yellow tones, and I used as many as the shades as I wanted, and I like how it turned out. At first, with how the yellow was acting, I wasn't sure if I would end up liking the palette, but I did really like it. After having used most of the shades in this palette, I do have a general idea of what I think about it, and I like it. I think it performed really well. Again, the only shade I really had issues with was that yellow, and it could have been too that my eyelids have been dry, so maybe that's why. I do want to get like a more hydrating eye primer, so if you guys know of any, let me know, because your girl needs a hydrating eye primer. I just need it. My eyes have been so dry lately, which is weird. I don't know why my eyelids have been dry, because like I literally moisturize them to try to help, but I don't know. If I didn't moisturize them, it'd be even worse. So it is what it is. But I love how these shades turned out in the eye look. This, I love red toned browns like this shade. They're probably like some of my favorite browns. I just love the warm tones, and I love this like warm tone brown with the like yellowy mustardy tones. I just could imagine doing this shade all over the lid and then blending out with all the other shades. I think it would be absolutely stunning. The look I did do gave me sunflower vibes. This is kind of what I was going for. I didn't even mean to do brown liner with it, but I like was just trying to like smudge my lash line a bit, and then it just turned into a full-on like chunky liner. So I was like, you know what? Let's roll with it. I rolled with it, and I kind of like how it turned out, actually. So now let's get into the mini eye tutorial that y'all have probably not been waiting for, but here it is anyways. This look is really simple. I basically just took this vanilla shade and set my brow bone, and then I took this light yellowy brown and put that in my crease and blended it out. I really wanted to make sure it was really blended, since the last look I did, it wasn't super blended, so I took a lot of time blending it out. Then I took the yellow shade and put it all over my lid. As you guys can see, it was super pigmented to start out, and then it just kind of went crappy. And I just blended that shade into the crease with the other shade. I took this like browny mustardy color. I really like that shade, and I put that in the outer corner and blended into the yellow, and then I blended that out as well. Again, lots of blending. That is the key to a blended look. And then I took this other shade just to deepen it a little bit more. It was another mustard shade. I love mustard shades so much, you guys. I then took this brown Pure Cosmetics liner, lined my lashes, and then I took these eyeshadows in the lower lash line and blended it out. I kind of just wanted it to match. I took this BH Cosmetics highlighter on the inner corner because I thought it would match decently well, and then I did a yellow blush, added mascara, and then this is the finished look. I like how it turned out, actually. In person it was less bright than it looks on the eyes, to be honest, but I have no qualms with it. I do like how this look turned out, even with the liner that I didn't even mean to have. I think it turned out nice. I liked the pop of a brown liner instead of black like I usually do. I also just like how blended the look turned out, because sometimes I don't blend enough. Like I said, I am happy with how the eye look turned out. I did really like it. I liked all the other shades except for the yellow. I just was kind of disappointed by the yellow and how it just automatically was like fading now, and it went from being a very bright yellow to crap, honestly. But that's okay. Sometimes shades are like that. Again, it could just be my eyelids were too dry for such a pigmented dry color. That being said, these eyeshadows have so much kick up in the pan. There's so much fallout on the eye. It is insane. I'll insert some clips showing the fallout, showing the freaking kick up in the pans. It was just insane. It's been a while since I've had shades like that, so it was a little bit daunting. This is definitely a palette where I'd recommend you do your eye before your face, unless you like looking like you have like jaundice and like yellow all over your face. It was probably one of the worst for fallout that I've had. And that's saying something. Usually fallout isn't a big deal. Like, there'll be like a little flecks or whatever, but it's fine. I always do my eye makeup before my face, so it's whatever. But yeah, this is a palette where I'd recommend you do your eyes before your face, because Lord knows, like, the fallout and the kick up, it is such a magnitude that, yeah, you don't even want to like try to risk it. For me, looking at this palette, it looks boring. Like, I'm not gonna lie. On first glance, for me, I'm not someone who likes natural eyeshadows, right? I like bright, fun colors. So when I first saw this, I was like, yeah, it's pretty, but like, it's kind of boring because of all the brown tones. That being said, half of these shades, like, yeah, they're brown, but they have like, I love cutting myself off. They have something to them. Like, yeah, the first few shades still are kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the 2 brown shades up there are like, why are you here? Like, it makes sense, of course, but with the color story. But for me personally, as someone who doesn't use a ton of brown eyeshadow, I'm like, why are you here? But it's fine. But the mustard shades in this palette really just do it for me. Like, they literally, like, it's just beautiful. I really, really like them, actually. And, like, obviously, when I was using it, after having the yellow not work how I wanted it to, I was really like, well, guess this is a palette I'm probably going to be decluttering. But I finished the look anyways, and I ended up really liking how all the other eyeshadows worked. So I don't think I'll be decluttering this. Like, I don't really have a palette with these shades that is just so easily accessible. Like, a 9-pan palette plus Colourpop's formula is phenomenal, even with the fallout. I am really happy with this palette, actually, so I'm happy. Whenever there's an eyeshadow palette where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, and then I'm like, yes! I'm so happy, honestly, so I can't complain. I think that this palette's really, really pretty. Like, of course, being the color lover I am, this isn't a palette I'm always gonna reach for, but when I want to do, like, a look with these mustard tones, I know where to look. Sorry, you can probably hear my cats playing in the background. Simon is literally insane right now. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe, comment down below any videos you'd like to see me do. Go follow my Instagram and TikTok, make it by TashaXO, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.